What about we do next week's session in space?
We can do that.
So tune in next week to see if we can do it, because I'm not sure we can. But if you're convinced that we can get to space,
we can do that. Virgin Galactic are building that space center out in the Abu Dhabi desert. That's not too far away.
Fine, cool.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Esquire's Man at His Best podcast. It's special because we are in space.
Ooh, Esquire in space.
I said that we were going to go to space, and we are in space.
I am pleased as punch, seriously.
So we're going to skip...
I didn't think he was going to do it.
We're going to skip the usual intro because we're in space. So quickly, I'm Tom, and I'm the digital director of Esquire Middle East, and this is Matt.
Captain Matt.
Well, yeah,
Commander
fair.
Matt.
So tell me, Matt, how did tell the audience how we got here?
It was all a dream. Well, I woke up and it just went woo, 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 and then the next thing I knew I was here.
Fair.
But I'm pretty sure at some bit that had to do with the UAE Space Agency that is operating soon missions
Yeah?
to the International Space Station, Tom. All that later in our awesome section.
Yeah, so obviously through the marvels of technology, not only are we in space, but we're beaming this live to all of your social media feeds, including YouTube. Hello, YouTube.
Hola.
Facebook. Hola, Facebook.
Hello.
And also Periscope.
Bonjour. I always go French with Periscope.
It's because they love it in France.
They do. Stats prove you right, Tom.
So let's, without further ado, because we have limited oxygen up here, Matt.
Ooh.
We better start the show.
Let's get on.
All right, so first, because we're in space, this is going to be space news.
Space news.
And we'll skip the sting. We're in space. That's enough.
Can we do one of those?
Sure.
Cool.
So this is kind of space news, and if one man is synonymous with space, it's Elon Musk.
Is it? Because he's more synonymous with, like, electric cars.
Yeah, but also...
And PayPal.
And SpaceX, which is space.
Yeah, but if one man was synonymous with space...
Well, recently he's
maybe
kind of
like
been
Captain
synonymous for
Jean-Luc
being a
Picard
bit of a obtuse person. Let's put it that way.
Musk?
Yeah, I mean he said bad words about that cave diver, and he tried to steal someone's unicorn picture to put in his cars.
Didn't he, like, introduce flamethrowers recently?
Yeah, he's selling flamethrowers, which is probably not a good idea.
I'm telling you, man. The man, it ain't right.
Well,
there's something. It ain't right.
Again, the idea is this man Iron Man-esque hero, or is he James Bond-esque villain?
Oh, well, yeah, no.
Well, so he's got a new...
It's either or, isn't it?
Well, he's got a new idea that is probably a lot more villainous than it is heroic.
And what is that idea?
Well,
Spit it out, sir. We've got limited oxygen here.
He's looking at, the Earth's not in a super good way. Straws are poisoning the fish, and the fish are poisoning us. Maybe it's time to just leave. So, closest planet to us?
Mars.
So the idea is, how can we turn the red planet into a cozy home for us humans?
Is Mars the closest planet to us? Or is Venus?
No, Mars.
Or Venus?
It's Mars.
All right.
So,
see, I reckon we're going to go to Mission Control, also known as Producer Mo. And what do we got there, Producer Mo? Closest planet is Venus. Boom. They don't call me Commander Matt, Admiral of Starship Enterprise for nothing.
All right. So Mars,
the
closest potential habitable planet.
I'll give you that.
Elon Musk has decided that if we use nuclear weapons, we can drop them on Mars at the polar ice caps on either side, right?
Yeah.
And by doing that, that will make Mars habitable. because, I'll just read the science here. It will release carbon dioxide trapped in various sites on the planet, causing greenhouse gases to come out, and then trap liquid water on the surface, and then you basically just terraform Mars.
So hold on, you know how earlier we were like, is Elon Musk villain or hero?
Yeah.
He wants to nuke a planet.
Yeah, he does.
Cool. I mean, that sounds like the stuff of heroes right there.
So there's one thing that Elon Musk didn't count on, and that's science.
Well, you know.
Because NASA, which is full of
pesky scientists getting in the way.
NASA, which is full of scientists, have said that's not going to work.
Yeah, because Musk is not a scientist. He doesn't know how to terraform. I mean, he might do, but I'm assuming he doesn't, more than NASA does.
Yeah, so apparently, according to NASA, there's not enough CO2 remaining on Mars to provide significant greenhouse warming were the gas to be put into an atmosphere.
I think Elon Musk just needs to get more sleep.
As a result, terraforming Mars is not possible using present-day technology.
I mean, there isn't enough, gases here in our space pod floating in the outer atmosphere of Earth right now.
Maybe we should go there.
Can we see the Earth from here?
Well, we can. It's right there.
Yeah. Very small.
Well, it's still pretty big.
Yeah. It's bluer in real life.
Yeah, right now we're above China.
China.
So you can see the Great Wall.
All our Chinese fans, just wave at them there. Hey, bud.
And actually, because I think it takes around 20 minutes for us to circumnavigate the globe up here in space. So actually, we will go all around the world. So we'll point out, when we see something of interest, we'll point it out to you guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
I think that's a good
idea. It's an interactive experience. Speaking of NASA, Tom,
yeah?
I have some NASA-based news, kinda. It involves the UAE Space Agency and the aforementioned NASA, who also are kind of both, responsible for getting us up here today.
Yes.
So big shout out to those guys. But basically, the UAE Space Agency and NASA have signed a letter of intent to work together as the UAE starts to up-tool its space program.
How are they going to work together? What, are they going to share rockets? They're going to share space tips?
Well, I think NASA will agree to share its experience. Obviously, they've, done multiple manned missions into space and the kind of advice and experience that they've had from that. So that's what I think what NASA are contributing. UAE are contributing resources. Obviously, they're building a space program here. So there's an agreement that they will continue to work together, the US and the UAE, as they kind of advance into that realm.
Do you think the UAE is ever going to have a space station?
I'll tell you something even better than that. According to that statement and that the news that was coming out around that agreement, which was signed in the Farnborough International Air Show in the UK, the UAE, who are currently have 9 candidates who are undergoing a period of assessment and training, and then from those 9 people they will select the final team of astronauts, and the first Emirati astronaut is scheduled to arrive on the International Space Station, Tom, next year in April 2019. We'll supposedly get the first Emirati astronaut on the ISS.
Well, we're not Emirati, but we have clearly beaten them to the punch.
Well, I mean, we're in space, and I ain't making it up. Oh, there's Egypt.
Oh yeah, there are pyramids there.
Yeah, that's the. Maybe you can see that right there, Tom. That is our offices in Dubai.
Ah, fair. Fair. See, they should have just come with us.
I mean, shouldn't they all?
Fair.
Elon Musk, though.
Well, also, kind of, again, it's an aside to that, but I think potentially NASA, UAE kind of helping. Obviously, China's big into space. Japan trying to build a lift to space.
Space lift.
They're trying to build a space lift.
Space lift.
It's just a lift to
just
space.
goes really. The buttons are just like ground, and maybe like a mezzanine floor where you can get snacks, and then just like space. Yeah.
So Donald Trump, in his wisdom, has decided that in order, I mean, what if someone like litters in space? What if someone jaywalks in space? You need someone to enforce the rules.
Space police?
Space Force.
Space Force.
So Donald Trump has essentially announced that the U.S. is going to be putting together a Space Force, which will be policing space.
I mean, can you do that?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't think there's any jurisdiction in space.
would the Space Force work alongside Elon Musk or against Elon Musk?
It depends whether or not Elon Musk is a bad guy or a good guy. Now, I always thought he was a good guy, but of recently, he could be...
If you think Elon Musk is a bad guy or a good guy, just leave comments below wherever you are watching this, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, bonjour, and other places. So let us know. Leave comments, and we'll find out. We'll get to the bottom of this when we get back to Earth.
When we get back, we'll call him up and say, Elon, are you a bad guy or are you a good guy?
And he'll say, oh, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico? Yeah. That's a good call. Is that Puerto Rico or is that Dominican Republic?
If you think that is Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic, leave your comment. No,
They can't see.
No, I know. It was a
We
gag.
only brought one camera.
It was a space gag.
Weirdly, all of the scientific equipment that came into getting us here, we only brought one camera.
Yeah, and I only bought one of those little wind-up, like, Kodak kind of cameras, and it's just jammed, so you can't... no luck there. Cool, man. Do you have any more space news?
I don't have any more space news, but I do have an aside, because obviously, as a human beings, as a species, there we go.
Yeah.
We're quite interested in space. We've been sending manned missions to.
I would say as a
moon.
species, we are the most interested in space. I don't think like cats are just looking at it and talking about space.
No, they're not talking though, are they?
Exactly.
Dolphins, I reckon they care.
About space?
Yeah.
More interested in land.
Echo
probably.
the dolphin.
Land is the next frontier for them.
No, they went. Do you know about dolphins? Let me tell you
Tell me
dolphins.
about
Tell you a
dolphins,
dolphin
Tom.
fact. So dolphins came out of the water when they evolved, and then were like, nah, I'm gonna go back in the water, and then they went back. So they literally evolved to come out the water like we did, like our ancestors did, and then they decided to move back into the water. See, that's how their brains developed out of the water, and then they decided to go back in the water, but then they already had their developed brains.
Where'd you read this mumbo jumbo?
This is not mumbo jumbo. This is rock hard science.
Science.
No, this is actual science.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, dolphins used to live on land. Used to live in the water, then on land, then in water.
I don't know, man. Isn't the Earth like 2,000 years old?
No, the Earth is many more billions of years old than that.
That is correct.
Anyway, aside from that dolphin fact, we should have stings for dolphin facts.
Speaking of, I like dolphin facts things. Speaking of the world and the time that it's been around and the future that it has been, that it potentially may not be around anymore, I have some Pharrell Williams news.
Okay. It's interesting to see how we get to this.
So let me draw you a map here, Tom.
All right.
A mind map. Pharrell Williams, very popular musical artist.
And actually, well, he'll probably be living right there. Look, there's the West Coast. There's Los Angeles.
There he is.
And you can actually see those forest fires.
And his hat.
You can see them. And his hat. Yeah, he does wear lots
It
of hats.
was an enormous hat that he was wearing for a while.
So, Pharrell.
So he's put his hat off, and he has been approached with a company, a brand called Louis XIII, where they have gone into collaboration, and he has recorded a song. But there's more.
Oh, okay.
He has recorded a song that will only be played in 100 years from now. The song has been imprinted on a vinyl made of clay and hidden in a safe somewhere, and that is only set to open in 100 years' time. So I won't hear it. My daughter probably won't hear it. Well, she definitely won't hear it. So my grandkids will be able to hear this song from Pharrell in 100 years, in 2117.
Why is it made out of clay?
Well, here's the catch. to raise awareness about global warming and rising sea levels.
Okay.
The safe that this thing is in has been specially made to be not water resistant, the other one.
What?
Like,
Air?
no. Like,
The other one.
yeah,
What, fire?
No.
What-
The
what-
opposite of water resistant. So, like, water breakable.
Water soluble.
Water soluble is fine, yeah. So basically, if the seas rise to a level where the safe gets wet, it starts eroding, and therefore the clay vinyl that has been created will dissolve, and no one will ever be able to hear this song. ever
Okay,
again.
so basically, this company and Pharrell Williams have basically said, look, people aren't caring about rising waters, so why don't we give them something that everyone cares about? Music. So basically, this is like if humanity continues to allow sea levels to rise, we're not going to get to listen to a Pharrell song. So I guess we should all really, start to take care of the environment. That's the...
Sort your act out, humanity, because Pharrell Williams has got a song
Yeah, I'm not...
that your grandkids need to listen to.
I'm not going to lie. This doesn't... I think there's more compelling reasons to help our environment than listening to a Pharrell Williams song.
You don't know how good the
That
song
may-
is, Tom.
It better be the best song ever.
I'm going to say it is.
But you've never heard it.
Neither has anyone else.
Well, Pharrell's heard it. One would assume...
Actually, you know what? That people have heard it because I think the day they locked it in the safe, he played it at a gig, and there was like a recording policy
Well, I was
there.
gonna say, wouldn't-
and so some people have heard it, and that was the only time it will ever be played live ever.
the clay vinyl man, he must have heard it. There's not going to be very many of them in the world.
Well, apparently they used the clay from a region in France called Cognac, where they used that clay to make the vinyl.
This is
You're not into this?
no. This is not a good thing.
Hey, if that ain't gonna get you to start worrying about that Earth right there that you can see in front of your eyes and the future of it, nothing will.
See, this isn't even as good as the other one. So basically, this is like the second time someone has decided to do it.
I think it's the same brand.
Is it?
Yeah. If it's the John Malkovich film,
That's what
one
I'm
that
looking
you're
at.
talking
Oh,
about.
it is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a musical version of the film one that they did a year ago. So
2 years ago.
2 years. So to clue you in, John Malkovich filmed a film that was put in a safe,
A short film.
a short film that was filmed, put in a safe, and that safe won't be open for 100 years. So kind of same thing, different medium.
Yeah, so that's going in the safe. The thing is, though, this safe, because they used a proper safe builder here, specially designed to be impenetrable until it automatically opens in 2115. See, so they went, water's not going to break this safe.
Yeah, but they weren't trying to raise awareness for global warming in that one.
What were they trying to do? Just extend John Malkovich's career?
Yeah. And isn't that a gift to humanity
Yeah,
itself,
fair.
Tom?
Again, there's a lot of pressure on this. Because, well, I guess you're going to be dead, so you don't really care what the critics think. But
Is there
really,
any pressure? I think there was no pressure. It was just like, he's not going to hear the reviews of that album.
well, then why make it any good?
Maybe it's a gift.
It could be rubbish.
A parting gift for humanity, Tom.
Pharrell could just be screaming down the mic.
Or just playing one note.
Yeah. And then, even then, like, music is moving. Music, it changes. So what
Exactly.
about... So,
If anything, it's like a time capsule of what the year 2018 was like.
but again, who voted Pharrell become the voice of all music? Why is this... Why? Why is he... Why is the savior of our seas and the voice of the future? Voice of the past for the future. No, I don't like this. This
No,
is-
I'm all in for this.
I'm not-
And
I'm
I
not.
hope my great-grandchildren will enjoy that music.
I'm going to find this safe.
I'm going to start being good to the
I'm
environment.
going to find this safe and with a small cup of water destroy this entire terrible marketing stunt under the guise that it's helping the environment.
You know who's going to stop you, though?
Who?
Elon Musk.
I think he'd be with me.
Yeah, is he good or bad? We just don't know.
We should have some sort of running scale.
An Elon Musk meter.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll have the Elon Musk meter appear now, and every week we'll move it. We'll move him either towards the good or the evil side. So at the moment, I think he's just a little bit in the evil category.
He's nuking planets, dude.
Yeah, okay. He's a decent way into the evil side.
Yeah.
But come on, Elon, you can do it, man. Do some good stuff.
More good stuff. Electric cars is good.
Yeah, but then flamethrowers not good. Yeah, sure. Anyway, so from that, we will go into something different because that's how these work. We talk about one thing and move into another thing.
Tahiti. Very small.
What has the world gone the other way? I thought Tahiti was...
It's there in the Pacific.
Fair. I thought that was Hawaii.
Well, no, Hawaii's just north. If you look there, that's Hawaii.
I need to bring my glasses.
Yeah. You didn't bring your glasses to space?
Nope.
Oh, boy.
So, from space, I thought we'd go up. We'd have a look at some of the best sci-fi movies of 2018.
All right, man.
Because I know that you enjoy watching movies, and you watch a lot of movies, especially the sci-fi kind of movie.
I do, but you know what? Not a lot of movies this year. I have a young daughter. When am I going to watch films?
Does she not like sci-fi?
I mean, she's 2. I suppose it's never too soon to get them into some sci-fi. Right, how many are we talking here?
We'll speed through them.
Okay.
And we'll see how many you've seen. Have you seen Pacific Rim Uprising? Robot, fighty robot.
No, but I saw the first one. I imagine it's vastly different. I imagine it is exactly the same, but in Europe.
I think they go to Europe at one point.
Yeah, it follows the international rules of film sequels.
This one happens in Japan more.
I'd imagine large, giant robot fighting often happens in Japan. They're probably used to it there.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't really matter. Like, they don't really care.
Speaking of Japan, there it is.
Fair.
You see large robots down there?
I can see. I think a kaiju and a robot there.
And Godzilla.
Godzilla, yeah. Yeah, that's coming out. That new film looks good. Anyway, Jurassic World. Is that a sci-fi film?
I mean, it's fiction.
I guess it's scientific, kinda.
They use science to bring the dinosaurs back. I'm counting it. It counts.
A Wrinkle in Time.
I do not know what that is.
This was like a book. I remember reading this in school.
Okay. What happens in it?
I didn't read it. I was supposed to.
You were meant to read it, and then you read the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, I did.
Did you go to school when the internet was a thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't.
I had Cliff Notes. But again, teachers would just read the Cliff Notes so they knew what to ask you. Because they had the internet too.
You see?
Anyway, this one's good because it looks good because Oprah Winfrey's in it.
Well, then it can't be bad.
Obviously, the obvious one, Solo, a Star Wars story.
Yeah. The origin story. You're not really giving me anything here. You're just listing names of films in an order that you haven't explained why they're in that
These
order.
are the best sci-fi films.
According to
this year.
who? Ranked by what?
According to Esquire.
Yeah, but ranked by what?
Ranked by goodness.
Box office receipts?
No, goodness.
Goodness? General, like, good film, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
That.
All right.
Goodwill towards films.
We enjoyed Solo, a Star Wars story.
Well, not many other people did. It didn't do too well.
And yet we think it's the 6th best sci-fi film of the year. Were there more than 10?
Well, there were 9.
All right. Ranked in order, though.
It was all right. So
Breaking news. It was all right. What's next on your list?
this was a good one. Ready Player One. Do you know this? Have you heard about this?
It's Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. But based off of a novel of the same name, and the novel was really good.
Right.
It's got like every pop culture reference from the 80s and 90s that exists.
Cool. What's it about?
Which is why Spielberg got involved, because he's behind half of those pop culture references.
Fair enough.
So like in this film, there's the DeLorean from Back to the Future that Steven Spielberg is directing it, but he also directed it at the very beginning because obviously Back to the Future, that was his jam. Space Jam, not one of Spielberg's, but that was a good film.
Space Jam?
Space Jam was a good film.
Which ironically... No, I was going to try to get a Space Jam thing of us being in space. It wasn't there.
Well, we are in space. Also, good soundtrack. Forget this. Let's just talk about Space Jam. Ready Player One, dystopian future, because that's the only type of future that really, it's all dystopian. The internet has just morphed into just what is just everyone just lives in helmets. Virtual reality's taken over.
Okay.
We live in helmets.
Cool.
And then, yeah, I mean, it's really long, complicated, but you should see it. It's good. Very good. You should read the book. Read the book first, then watch the film.
Cool. This is glowing. These are glowing recommendations right now.
Book, good. Film, also good, but different.
Sure, but you're not really saying why it's good.
I don't want to spoil it.
All right, fair enough. All right, what's next on your list? This impeccable list.
Well, Avengers Infinity War, that's space.
Yep.
Some of it takes place in space.
Well, I mean, sci-fi and space is pretty much hand in hand, right?
Yeah. That's the sci.
No, that's the science.
No, I know that, but like science fiction generally involves going to space. 2001: A Space Odyssey, that kicked off the whole sci-fi thing.
You can have science fiction on Earth. It doesn't have to be in space.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's on with your Infinity Wars? Was it a good Avengers?
It was, yeah.
Yeah?
It was, yeah.
I don't watch Marvel films. We cover this extensively in this podcast.
I'll tell you an interesting Avengers-based factoid.
Please do.
So, Marvel, when they were releasing all the trailers, they basically CGI'd in and out all this sort of different stuff. So even if you watch the trailer, it wouldn't spoil the film.
So it's like scenes that didn't really exist?
Yeah. So like, for example, and this isn't a spoiler. Everyone knows this. This is common. If you don't know this, then you can't accuse me of spoiling.
I think you gotta if you don't want spoilers for Avengers Infinity Wars, stop listening now and tune in in 15 seconds.
Right, in this thing, and you can see here, and we'll pop it up on the screen because space hologram technology. You can see this green guy, right?
The Hulk.
That's the Hulk. But he's not even in the film.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Doesn't come out.
Is Bruce Banner in it?
Yeah, he's in lots.
Yeah.
But so again...
It's just like you just found a new chilled meditative process?
So this photo is essentially, this is Marvel just trolling everyone, because we would think that Hulk would be in it, but he's not in it.
Look, I can't fault it. I get annoyed by trailers because you've seen the film, all the best bits, and then you just kind of watch the bits that link them together. It's very, it's very
exactly. And then quickly, The Incredibles 2.
The Incredibles 2. And that rounds up your really average list of nothing.
I thought it was a good list.
Fair enough. Let's agree to disagree. But also, I believe we might be running out of oxygen.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Let's quickly swap the tanks.
All right.
All right, swap the tanks. Oxygen.
Just about. I don't think there's much left in these tanks, or the fact that we've now circumnavigated the Earth completely, because there's China, Tom.
Back above China.
It's where it all began.
Well, that means we have to start our descent pretty soon, because we need to descend onto the UAE.
I mean, this is just a one-time around-the-world trip, but didn't take 80 days, though, did it?
No, it took around about 25 minutes.
I'm going to go with 28 minutes.
Anyway, we do hope you enjoyed this very special Esquire Man at His Best podcast. Remember, we have new episodes coming out weekly on Apple, iTunes, SoundCloud, Pocket Casts, and Facebook, and YouTube, and Periscope, which are all live streamed via the magic of technology.
On this planet or the next.
Also, be sure to check out our social media accounts for more daily goings-on from Esquire Middle East, which is the largest men's luxury lifestyle title in the region, and maybe even the world, and maybe even the galaxy.
Maybe, but I would just like to interject here and say, Tom, Steven Spielberg didn't do the Back to the Future films. That was Robert Zemeckis.
Didn't he have a thing? Didn't he do something?
But he did most of the other films in the 80s.
Did he produce it?
No.
Did he not?
No.
Did he have something to do with it?
No. Let's go back to Earth.
All right.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
Catch you later.
From Earth.
From Earth? Back to Earth.
Not the future. Bye-bye.